Maybe not yet. But we're watching you, big brother. Let's be honest, folks. This essay, the one you're reading right now about government spending, it might get flagged, blocked, or vanish faster than a politician's promise in an election year. Why? Because talking truth to power is about as welcome as a skunk at a picnic, especially when that power controls the purse strings, and has a history of silencing dissent. So read fast, share widely, the man might be listening. But fear not, brave citizens. We're not backing down. We're going to dissect the bloated beast of government spending, expose the absurdity, and maybe, just maybe, light a fire under some complacent backsides in Washington. Buckle up, buttercups, it's about to get real. Look, I get it. Politics is messy. Budgets are boring. And who can resist the siren song of another Real Housewives franchise? But here's the thing. While you're busy watching people scream at each other over a misplaced cocktail napkin, your hard-earned tax dollars are being funneled into some truly mind-boggling projects. Projects that would make even the most jaded reality TV producer blush. We're talking bridges to nowhere, studies on shrimp on treadmills, and enough military surplus to arm a small planet. Meanwhile, our schools are crumbling, our infrastructure is collapsing, and the national debt is climbing faster than a Kardashian on a private jet. Ah, the age-old cry of the fiscally frustrated. Fire those lazy government workers. It's a tempting narrative, isn't it? Picture it. Hordes of paper-pushing bureaucrats cast out into the streets, forced to finally get real jobs. The budget magically balances itself. Everyone wins, right? Wrong. Firing government employees is about as effective as slapping a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. It might look like you're doing something, but it does little to address the systemic issues at play. And let's be honest, the DMV is never going to be mistaken for a well-oiled machine, no matter how many employees you fire. Now let's talk about the real culprit in this fiscal fiasco: government contracts. This, my friends, is where the magic, and by magic I mean outrageous waste, happens. You see, the government loves to outsource. Everything from building fighter jets to supplying paper clips gets contracted out to private companies. And these companies, they know how to milk a deal drier than a California raisin in August. We're talking cost overruns so egregious they'd make your head spin. We're talking contracts awarded without competitive bidding. We're talking a level of inefficiency and opacity that would make even the most seasoned accountant break down in tears. Section 5. The $10,000 toilet seat. Tales from the procurement abyss. Remember that time the Pentagon spent $10,000 on a toilet seat? Or how about the $600 hammer? These aren't just punchlines, folks. They're real-life examples of a procurement system gone completely bonkers. A system where common sense takes a backseat to bureaucratic inertia and corporate greed. But hey, at least we can rest easy, knowing that our military has the most comfortable posteriors in the world, right? Never mind the fact that our schools are struggling to afford basic supplies. Section 6, pork barrel spending, your tax dollars, someone else's swimming pool. Ever wonder why a tiny town in Alaska needs a bridge to nowhere? Or why a university research lab is studying the mating habits of dung beetles? Welcome to the wonderful world of pork barrel spending, where politicians use your tax dollars to fund pet projects in their districts. It's a cynical game of quid pro quo, where votes are traded for earmarks, and the needs of the many are sacrificed at the altar of political expediency, and the worst part, it's perfectly legal. Section 7, the illusion of budget cuts, smoke, mirrors, and shifting sands. Politicians love to talk about cutting spending. It's like a badge of honor, a way to prove their fiscal responsibility. But here's the thing. What they often call cuts are really just reductions in planned spending increases. It's like bragging about spending less on your grocery bill this week because you didn't buy that extra avocado. Sure, you're technically spending less than you could have, but you're still spending a boatload of money. Section 8. A vision for change. Transparency, accountability, and maybe a swear jar. So, how do we fix this mess? It's simple, really. We need more transparency, more accountability, and maybe a giant swear jar for every time a politician utters the phrase fiscal responsibility without a hint of irony. We need to demand clear, concise explanations of how our money is being spent. We need to hold elected officials accountable for wasteful spending, and we need to shine a light on the shadowy world of government contracts. Section 9. The power of the people. Because complaining on Twitter isn't enough. Now you might be thinking, John, this is all well and good, but what can I do about it? I'm just one person. And to that I say bullshit. Never underestimate the power of an informed and engaged citizenry. You have a voice. Use it. Contact your elected officials. Attend town hall meetings. Write letters to the editor. Raise awareness on social media. And for the love of all that is holy, vote. Section 10. Your voice matters. Don't let them drown you out. The powers that be rely on our apathy. They count on us being too distracted, too disillusioned, too busy watching the latest season of Love Island to pay attention to what's happening in Washington. Don't let them win. Your voice matters, your vote matters. The future of our country depends on it. Section 11. Take action now. The future of common sense depends on it. This isn't a spectator sport, folks. We're all in this together. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now. Let's take back our government, rein in the out-of-control spending, and restore some goddamn common sense to this country. Go forth and make some noise. The future of common sense depends on it.